What's up, everybody? Today I want to talk about my reading goals for 2025 and how I failed my last year's reading goal in 2024. Hopefully in this conversation you could really see what it's like to pursue that kind of goal. Maybe just learn some lessons for yourself, sort of like how to do it for your own goals, and just provide overall insight into what it's like to just read more and actually try to achieve that goal. Okay, really quick, just want to say thank you for clicking on this video, and please leave a like if you're enjoying and consider subscribing. I usually just do videos on movies and books and reviewing them. I also do some miscellaneous things. Like I kind of like talking about stationery and I don't know, in the broadest sense, kind of like nerdier things. I do plan on making more videos on like productivity and how I use my reminders and why I care about the calendar app so much. And, you know, stuff like that, I guess. Now back to the video. So before I say anything, I really hate when I say I failed that goal. I mean, I did, but like I still did pretty good. My goal was to read 70 books in 1 year. I did not reach that. Instead, I read 66. So it's not bad. I am not complaining too much about it. If I were to complain like that, then it's kind of like, I don't know, there's that one meme where it's like one student gets 90 something% on the test that everyone else got like a 70%. And they're like, what are you complaining about? I feel like I'm giving the same energy, right? In this video, I'm really just gonna focus on, well, what happened, right? Like how come I couldn't reach that goal and what I'm gonna do to shift my goal around a little bit for 2025 and why I'm deciding to do that in the first place. Now, the first big thing is I'm lowering my reading goal. Honestly, 70 is kind of a lot, especially with the material that I read. I mean, I enjoy the stuff I read. It's very dense, it's very interesting to me, you know, but at the same time, I'm overwhelmed, right? Like it is some hard material. I mean, sometimes I read Marx, sometimes I read feminism, sometimes I read stuff on materialism and culturalism and just so many different isms, I guess. And I'm happy to read all that stuff, right? I'm glad I read more, started read Chomsky and stuff like that, right? But it is a lot and it is draining. I'm still unsure what the range I want to go to, like maybe 40 to 60 books instead. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that there are certain limitations that I met last year that I really had to confront this year. One limitation that I had was really, there was just so much on my plate. I mean, this is the first like job, I guess, first real job I've had after college. And that, I mean, yeah, those are a lot of hours to put in. And I was getting OT as well, so I definitely didn't make it easier on myself. On top of that, there's just all these other little things that I do, like this YouTube channel. I was also a newsletter writer, and let's see, I was going to the gym, spending time with my girlfriend, and all of those things really add up, especially when it comes to the gym thing. It's just because, yeah, fine, I'll go for 45 minutes to an hour, but I'm tired, you know? So you have to come home, take a shower, and then just take like a nap. Sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes like an hour, depending on the intensity of my workouts. And that's something I have to balance out now. Like maybe I just can't read as much, you know? Like I don't have the time. There's other things that I have to do. And on top of that, one thing that I really noticed is that I didn't always want to prioritize my reading. That's not to say I don't like reading or whatever. I mean, there's sometimes I don't, to be honest, but I still do it. But sometimes I just want to do something like play video games. There's this quote that really like moves me and something that I can't just forget about. The quote goes like this: "Let others praise ancient times. I am glad I was born in these." And in our times, there are some brilliant things. I mean, I still haven't finished Astrobot. But I'm excited to play it, and I feel like I'm not really getting the most out of my life if I'm not cherishing the things that make this time special. Like, fine, that's like, you can say that's exaggeration, whatever, or I'm too deep about it, but this is my life, you know? And it shouldn't just go all towards reading, right? So I'm really trying to figure out that balance more. And then one big thing like this, I will never do this again. I really hope that there's a big lesson that you take away from this video. Make sure you track how much you're reading. Like, write it down, like, oh, I want to read these pages or whatever in this day, whatever, right? Like, there is a point where I stopped doing that because I'm like, I'll be fine. Like, it doesn't matter how much I read, like, as long as I read something. That's not true. Like, at least for me, it is a motivator, right? If I know, hey, I want to read 30 pages of this book within this reading session, it makes me keep going, right? If I don't have that, then I kind of just, I don't know if I slow down or what it is, but then I just don't care as much. And I really didn't think it was a problem, but now that, you know, I'm at the end of the year, it's literally December 31st, and I obviously can see that it's like that is one reason that I was behind in my goal, because I just stopped tracking it. But it does matter. Like, that is one big thing that I know that I have to fix next year, is keep tracking your reading. Make sure there's a goal for every reading session. Other than that, there shouldn't be too much, right? I think next year I'm just gonna start doing less, because you know what? I feel like reading so much wasn't the most optimal thing for me. I mean, when it comes down to it, like, why have these goals, right? Like, it is something enjoyable, something that we care about, right? And for me, even though I do like reading and I value it very much, I need a better balance. I also like writing a lot. I also like doing this YouTube stuff. I really do want to put more time into this stuff. It's a lot more fun than I thought it would be. And I just can't, if I'm reading this much. To do a lot of reading just requires a lot of time, and that's something that has to be taken more seriously by me. And it's definitely something that I'm gonna do next year. I said earlier, 40 to 60 books sounds right for me. If it goes lower, then it has to go lower. So in the grand scheme of things, whatever your reading goal is, just consider that it's probably gonna be difficult, and you're gonna have to balance out a bunch of different things in your life to make this possible. It is not easy. The year before, I read 100 books in 1 year, and I thought I would just be able to keep that consistency, but things do pop up and you want to prioritize other things. And I feel like I was really struggling to figure that all out at one go. Thankfully, a new year does feel like a new start. I feel like I learned a lot from that year. I do want to continue having a very sizable reading goal, but not to the point where I feel like I'm just abandoning the other stuff that I care about. And that's one big takeaway that I had. Of course, some things that I've been doing are just going to be let go. Like the newsletter writing, I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I'm going to stop February, just because it takes too much time. Of course, I'm happy to build the portfolio that way. But I can't. It is too much work for me. And I'm also probably going to not take too much OT at work anymore. So those are two bosses that are going to be upset at me recently, but whatever. I gotta do what I gotta do, right? Let me know what your reading goals are for 2025. I know that the new year is typically a time that people reflect and make new goals, but it's also a great time to adjust old goals that didn't go well. With that being said, thanks for watching. Have a good one.